Happy lunchtime, everybody. Welcome to today's lunch lesson. My goal is to enlighten you regarding some of the user agreements you might have clicked on over the years of our increasingly cyber-oriented world. So with this in mind, perhaps you'll decide to be a client with Forever versus being a product with some of our competitors. In 2017 alone, 7.5 trillion photos were taken, and they were taken on mobile phones. They were taken through apps on cameras with tablets and others, like screenshots and that sort of thing. So with us taking almost 8 trillion pictures per year, you've got to think about how you take yours and where they're located. I happen to have a mix of phone, DSLR camera, and my kids' phones, plus video and still images, and I confess to having a lot of print images and VHS tapes that need to be preserved as part of our family photo network too. With 8 trillion photos taken every year, storage options are going to show up everywhere. That's just the way the world works. If there's something out there that people can grab a hold of as a commodity, they're going to do it. So with the term commodity being in place here, think about the fact that if their photo service is free, you are their product. You're giving up exclusive control of your images. When you put photos on Facebook, you're the product. They're data mining what you put on their sites. Then they're advertising to you. How many times have you gone into your web browser and searched for a new camera or a new coffee pot or whatever it is that you need to replace? And so you're researching them. Next thing you know, there are ads from Walmart and Amazon, all the big players that can really put advertising dollars out there. They have sold them that information, so they can now advertise directly to you. And if you click on it, Facebook gets a kickback from that click. Maybe just a penny, but that adds up over time. So if their service is free, you are the product. Make no, don't be mistaken about that. They are definitely using you as their product, and you're releasing some aspects of your copyright to your images. You're allowing them to data mine your files for advertising. Same thing happens with an included service. So for example, Amazon and iCloud, those are included services. You can't utilize those very easily without having them be a part of some other service. So you're giving up permanence. That is only there for as long as you're utilizing that other service. I want to go back to the free ones for a minute. I forgot to mention YouTube. A lot of people use YouTube for their video uploading because it's pretty easy and it's free, and that's all great. But unless you're the next up-and-coming YouTuber, you don't necessarily want all of your videos out there for everyone, anyone, at any time. The bigger issue, though, is that YouTube just randomly, arbitrarily deletes things. Could be that aspect of their server is full. It could be almost anything. It could have been a mistake, but they make no promises for it being there. We actually have an ambassador with Forever whose daughter had videotaped her grandfather and done an interview with him, and she went to show the video and it was gone, and they had no backup, which is really sad. And it's kind of shocking whenever the advisor is actually or the mother is actually a Forever ambassador, but things just disappear. Plus, if you post it on YouTube, you have absolutely no control over where that video goes, who watches it, or what's done with it. This is especially, or one place that might want to really think about this are youth groups and schools, and I want to do a lunch lesson where I talk about how groups can use our services, because you might have children in there who aren't allowed to be on Facebook. Maybe they're foster children, or there's some other issue in their world that prevents them from being on Facebook or YouTube or out in social media land. And so this gives you a great way to share privately. If the photo service that you're using is paid, it ends when you stop paying, and you pay more for the lifetime of that arrangement than when you make our one-time purchase of storage. You're also sacrificing permanence and often control, just as you are with the free and included services. Even if it is paid, when's the last time that you got hands-on help from Apple at your convenience? When's the last time that you sent them an email and within an hour received a response? I know you can find a live number for someone at Apple, but it's very, very difficult. I've done it before, and it took a long time. In the end, I got someone who was working from home, sitting in her living room, who was nice to talk to, but it took me hours to come up with that number and get through to a living person. You don't have any idea if you switch from Apple to Android how long your iCloud account's going to be around, because they make no promises. There's no policy or consistency. When I changed my Apple ID, it deleted itself in about 6 months, but I've heard others say that it happens within hours because there's no policy. Forever is literally the only service I've found to guarantee that this storage is available to your heirs. Just as you pass down your jewelry or your home, you can designate who they go to. You do the same thing with your family photo network, with your digital estate, whatever term you want to use to describe it. It's yours, it's permanent, you pass it down. Now let's take a look at some blurbs from some online photo storage services. We mentioned iCloud. They can suspend or terminate your account at any time, and they specifically tell you that it is deleted at your death. It's not transferable. Facebook, they own all of your content, and then they shut it off, or they tell you you committed some Facebook crime and put you into Facebook jail. And the tons and tons of temporary ads and posts that come through there get mixed in with your memories, and that's not really something we want. Dropbox is a great way to store documents that are not pertinent to any kind of privacy or legal issues or family stories, but it's not something that I recommend for photo storage. Shutterfly, maybe there are competitors, but when is the last time a Shutterfly welcomed you at their home office to share a drink and work on your project? For storage services, what good is a storage service that makes it really difficult for you to view or share your images? Right now, I'm working on getting my aunt's images from Shutterfly, and it's a tedious process. It requires me to sign into her email every time I download a batch, and that's okay. But it's so much easier with Forever. You can seamlessly share things and move them between accounts if you give people permission to do so, but you have to give them permission. So it's not just out there for anybody and everybody to get them. It's either that I go into her email and do it that way, and she gives me the access to her email, or I download thousands of photos at one time, and who wants to do that? That's overwhelming. So these terms of service are directly taken from their things. They all say they can suspend and terminate. They hold your stuff hostage. They say they can always delete it. They can always delete it. They can always delete it. So it's your job to share them. They reiterate over and over again. It's, you put it here, but it's your responsibility. Let's take a look at iCloud in specific. Apple may at any time, under certain circumstances and without prior notice, immediately terminate or suspend all or a portion of your account. Your account is non-transferable. Your account will terminate upon your death. You are responsible, and Apple guarantees nothing. Nothing. Apple doesn't guarantee a thing about storage or access. It's there, it's great, it sounds good, it makes a nice little logo, but it's not permanent, it's not guaranteed. What aspect of this sounds good to you? I'm currently working with a client who, unfortunately, at her father's passing, has lost access to his stuff because the computer itself was an Apple product and is password protected. And at this point, with the length of time that has passed and they've been unable to get anyone to help them get into that system, they probably won't have access to anything, because the iCloud services would have terminated and deleted probably what is there. And that's a really sad scenario. With our services, you can log into an account anywhere, and you can set up anyone to be your account manager, to be the person who handles the account upon your passing. So you set that up when you create your account, and then it's all done. And it seamlessly moves over into the hands of the person who you have determined to be the heir of your account. I don't know a lot of SmugMug users, but this is one that says when user content or other files are deleted or your account is canceled, those files will be deleted as soon as reasonable, which could be today. As soon as reasonable means absolutely nothing. And this is very common language in a lot of the user agreements that we click away on. Take a look at Google Drive. I know a lot of people who use Google Photos and Google and other Google products. When you upload, submit, store, send, or receive content to or through our services, you give Google and those we work with a worldwide license to use, host, store, reproduce, modify, create, derivate, works, communicate, publish, publicly perform, publicly display, and distribute such content. So it's in their user agreement that you're giving up your copyright control. A worldwide license, that means anywhere, anytime. Create derivative works means you can be driving down the street and see your daughter's picture on a Planned Parenthood billboard. You can walk into Walgreens and see your family photo displayed behind their photo center in life-size form without your permission. They don't have to ask you, they don't have to compensate you. You've lost ownership and control of these images, even if you stamp them or watermark them with something of your own choosing. Paragraph 3, this is what data mining statements look like. Our automated systems analyze your content, including emails. This analysis occurs as the content is sent, received, and when it is stored. So you're signing away your First Amendment rights, basically, because they can look at your emails. A lot of times law enforcement can't look at your emails, but your photo storage can. So we don't do that at Forever. That's not to say we don't monitor anything. I spent the last few days looking over the 27-page document in detail that is our user agreement. And of course, there's some of the protective legalese in there that any company is going to utilize. But for the most part, it's telling you what your rights are, what we're promising you, and what we're going to give you. So let's take a look at that. If you need to come back later, we are at almost 22 minutes, and this is where I'm going to start focusing on the guarantee offered by Forever. So we need a solution. We want things to be permanently secured with preservation settings. We want it to be fully paid at the time we initiate the account, and we want there to be file type migration. And we don't want any data mining, and we want to continue to have full access to everything from any device, any web browser, and so we can list a lot at once. The thing that's cool is that Forever isn't like other photo storage services. We're focused on providing you with a permanent digital state, a permanent family photo network that's going to last for generations. So we're giving you something that is like insurance for your photos, and with that insurance comes all of these great policies that are there to support your full ownership. The guarantee of preservation. The content is preserved during your lifetime and after your death for at least 100 years after your death. So those are awesome aspects of our terms of service. If you're interested in receiving the full document, I'd be glad to email it to you. I converted it over to a Word document so I could print it out and highlight on it and mark things up, and I'd be glad to send that Word document to you. Forever offers the solution because you are buying it one time, you're owning it for generations, there are no future fees, no recurring costs, it's a one-time purchase. Our guarantee fund is about 70% of your purchase price that goes into a fund to make sure that you never have to pay for that storage again, to make sure that if the file format changes, we can migrate it to the new file type so that it's still a viable file, and to make sure that in the unlikely event that our company fails, we're able to return everything to you. It doesn't disappear into cyberland somewhere. And another cool thing is that you can add video streaming to your Forever account, and when you do the one-time purchase for Forever video streaming, it's attached to your account. So just like your account, it becomes part of your legacy that you can pass down to whomever you designate to be the inheritor of that. The video streaming, when you purchase the single payment plan, goes along with your account. And it also enables anybody who you share a video with to watch it because you've already paid for the video streaming service, which is separate from storage. All right, so Forever is the solution. Again, I can't say this often enough. You own your content. You retain all the rights. There's no data mining. It is triple backed up, and it is encrypted with bank-level security. If you have other questions about these words, what triple backed up means or what encrypted with bank level security is, send me a personal message or comment on this post, and I will try to find answers to any questions that I can't answer on my own. With Forever, you can have all of your outdated media, printed photos, photo albums, and scrapbooks digitized by Forever Media Conversion Services. And this is top quality. Everything is lovingly done, white glove service from beginning to end. Our print shop is headed by a man named Matt Gray, and he is in this for the absolute love of the print products. So when you ask if we're like Shutterfly, and maybe a little bit, we're in the same arena as far as commerce is concerned, but the customer service makes it so much different with us. Let me show you this screen, and this one is at the 25 minutes 31 seconds. I want you to come back and look at this again. Don't just check the box on user agreements. Instead, look at what the agreement is checking off for you. And the difference between what Forever offers you all across this top bar and what these other folks are offering you is so huge that the one-time purchase price certainly outweighs the convenience of paying $10 a month forever and ever and having it disappear. And you see all this support info down here. Literally, I sent an email to support this morning before anybody would have been up, and within 25 minutes of them opening, I had a response, and they took care of the question that I was asking them. So it truly is amazing customer service. Plus, you get me, so that's always fun, and you can come hang out here. So between Forever's support and mine, you'll never be left to fend for yourself in the virtual world. Plus, a perk from me is live customer service, including but not limited to Friday night clicks. The first one of those is going to be tomorrow night from 6 to 10 here at DanisPixelChix headquarters. And that'll be an opportunity for you to click with us, to shop, to learn, whatever you want to do. I have coffee shop hours where I set up at a local coffee shop and I just sit there and work on my own stuff, have a cup of coffee, and invite you to stop in if you feel like chatting. In my in-home office, I'm always ready for one-on-one consultations, set up appointments, and meet with you here. And I always have a glass of wine or a cup of coffee available for you. And small business support means hands-on assistance or hand-holding if that's necessary, guidance and consultations. So with DanisPixelChix and Forever, you're a whole lot more than a confirmation number and a click. So let's talk about how we can get these photos back. Again, tonight, 6 to 10 at DanisPixelChix. Message me or text me to let me know you plan to stop by, please. And we can start or add to your family photo network storage. We can work in your account, whether it's the free one or the permanent one, and I can show you how tagging and albums and all that stuff work in there. We can prepare a conversion order if you want to do that. We can work on digital scrapbooking in Artisan or print. I actually have a piece that I was asked to design for a customer last night, so I want to work on that. So it's ready for the 50% off and free shipping sale on on Saturday. The next Friday night clicks is going to be June 21st from 5 to 8 at Square Bean Coffee Shop on West High Street in Carlisle. So again, I always like to know who's coming so I can be prepared. If we're meeting at the coffee shop, I want to make sure I'm sitting in a location where we have enough room. Actually, this next Friday we're gonna have the back room, so we're gonna have space back there, and I need to know if I'm gonna have people there. Otherwise, I don't want to take up their room. All right, so we are now at 28 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'm going to switch over to screens showing you how to walking you through a quick setup for a new account online, and then how to open that up on your Forever app on your phone. Probably is going to take us about 4 more minutes. If you can't do this now, or if you need to view it again, just remember 28 minutes and 30 seconds is where we start the walkthrough on setting up your account. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is go to this account, this web page. Even if you're on a phone or an iPad or a computer, it doesn't matter which one, but I need you to set up your account here at www.forever.com/ambassador/DanisPixelChix. You'll enter your email address and you'll create a password. At some point, you're going to want to check your email and confirm your new account and then click on profile to set up your personal profile. But if you're doing this along with me now, if you would come back to steps 3 and 4 at about 29 minutes, come back to those after we've gone through these other slides. So your next step is going to be on your mobile device. Go to www.forever.com/mobile, and you'll be able to open up the app and install that, or the appropriate app store so that you can install our app. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the setup of a mobile app, and obviously I can't see anyone who's following along, so I may go too quickly. We're starting these slides at exactly 30 minutes. So the mobile app settings, it's going to ask you to get started. You'll log in, so whatever email and password you entered initially in the web browser, you're going to want to put those in there and log in. And you can do that even if you haven't yet gone back and confirmed your email. I want to tell you a little bit how I chose to set up my app settings and why, so that you can have a little bit of an idea of one person's opinion before you get started. So as this is walking you through setup, the first thing it's going to do is ask if you want to back up this iPhone. My recommendation is say no, skip this for now, because if you have thousands of photos on your iPhone, first of all, it's going to take a long time to upload, and secondly, then you're going to have a ton of photos in there to organize. I would strongly encourage you to start in smaller batches. So my recommendation is that you say no, skip this. I also recommend that you say no to automatically adding new photos, because if you're like me and you're shopping at Target and you don't have money to purchase something that day, you take a picture of the price tag or the item or whatever. I don't need those in my permanent account. So I always say no to that, and then I choose to upload manually. The other thing that happens is when I'm taking photos at an event with my phone, I take a whole bunch of pictures. I don't necessarily want them all. I might shoot the same image 20 times to get the perfect shot. I don't need all 20. I need 1 or 2 of them, maybe 3, because I'm like that. All right, and then do you want to use cellular data? That's a personal choice. If you have unlimited cellular data, go for it. But if you don't have unlimited cellular data, I encourage you to say no, only upload on Wi-Fi. Especially if you're choosing to automatically update, you want to say only on Wi-Fi. Now, if you're out and about and you want to upload a few pictures so that you can share them right away, that's different. Go into your settings and change your Wi-Fi settings and upload those pictures, and then remember to turn it off later. Okay, once this is set, now based on the recommendations I gave you, this is going to say no or off. This will say off. And then you can always come back in here to this little menu bar up here, these 3 little lines. You can always come back in here and change any of these settings. A new screen that we have on setup is called notifications, and that's your call. If you're going to be uploading some things, I say go for the notification settings being turned on, because that way it tells you when it's done, or if there's a problem with the download, or if you order something, it tells you when it's shipped. So the notifications are nice. They're not intrusive. It's not like Facebook Messenger notifications that you get in a group and then you get 87 notifications in a minute and a half. You're not going to do that here. So this always shows you what percentage of storage you've used, and you can check the progress of downloads here. And you can also go into your profile here and do all your preservation settings and so forth. And with that, we are at the end of my walkthrough on setting up your mobile app. If you have questions or you missed a step, go back to about 30 minutes, and that will walk you through, starting with going to the website and creating your free account. So if you're able to stop by this evening and visit with us and crop with us, or just have a glass of wine and take a look at a little bit more or ask some questions, I'd love to see you. We'll be at DanisPixelChix headquarters. PM me for the address from 6 to 10 this evening. Have a beautiful Friday. It sure looks awesome out there today. We just came back from a nice walk, and it's a little brisk, but it feels great. Hope to see you soon.